The ultimate intellectual INTJ feels like this.
Only he's right, guys. He is the chosen one. We're all peasants, but consider this guy. How it feels to be an INTJ? Yes, you all are wrong, and I'm not afraid to say it.
How are they all hearing you though?
What is INTJ anyway?
INTJ is introvert, intuitive, thinking, and judging. Oh, come on. Come on.
Only smart people understand the Oppenheimer movie.
Oh, really? Only people with a certain IQ, huh?
Yeah, people that dislike this film don't possess the brain power to comprehend its magnitude. I am literally Oppenheimer.
Wait, there's more? Oh my God.
Expected prior to engaging in such a journey, and is rather their time and money wasted, coupled with a vast feeling of usury and crushing insult, knowing that they, the consumer, has been drained deeply of their precious time, and then what remains wholly wasted by this snake oil salesman who deals in childish linguistics. His appearance then becomes the likes of which not Shakespeare himself would see fit for a good mocking.
Are you real? No, this is a paid actor comment. This is not a real human being that wrote this. He did not write a thesis paper as a comment. Defending his position that he can't be racist on the internet because it's just pixels. Oh my God. Oh, and it's over Twitch. Huh? I'm not racist. I'm intelligent. You're woke. There's a difference. Oh no. Oh no. But I don't. You're a fool. Sheep, turn the screen off, loser. I can agree with turn the screen off, but you can absolutely be racist over the internet. It's very possible. On a video essay by a British guy. Oh my goodness.
You perseverate far beyond what is helpful to your audience, which, with your accent, one that would have been identified as strongly/traditionally English even a century ago, and let's not forget all its offshore variants, or any English accent sounding more antiquated than the postmodern average, while not being a learned English accent, comes across as dry, boring, condescending, full of pomp, and lacking in enlightenment, except of the type of faux enlightening that can be found here and all over the mainstream web in any language, and I suspect any accent. The only real difference between hearing it in this language, English, and with your accent is that no matter how proper you speak, or what words you do speak properly, your focus on speech over substance is merely trading the listener's journey towards true education for instead a hopeless quest of understanding. In time, they'll see it for what it is, which is that they have been listening to a cheap auditory ear massaging that lacked the substance of thought and depth of personal advancement expected prior to engaging.
What video essay do you think this was under? Like the entire history of Papa's Pizzeria or something, and then he left a comment like this. His IQ is over 140 and he's a physics major. Number one, if anyone in the convo is stupid, it's you, not me. I am a physics major and 140 plus IQ. Number two, you look almost as white, meaning you barely have any Aztec DNA. Number three, there is scant to no evidence, scant meaning little, by the way, I'm very smart, of them having any accurate or developed medicine, science, or math whatsoever. If you claim otherwise, you're lying to feed some personal bias toward equality that you have. And like my own comment, and there we go. Oh God, why is it faded like this? Hold on, I gotta zoom in. I must express my disappointment with the chess puzzle in question. Despite its initial allure, it proved to be disappointingly facile. The queen's sacrifice is obvious, lacking the intricate complexities and strategic depth that one would expect from a truly challenging puzzle. The under-promotion was too in your face. Its predictability was apparent from the outset, leaving no room for the nuanced decision-making and creative maneuvers that make chess puzzles truly engaging. As an ardent chess enthusiast, I relish the opportunity to grapple with puzzles that demand a higher level of intellectual acumen. On this festive occasion of Christmas Eve, it would have been particularly delightful to encounter a puzzle that not only captured the spirit of the season, but also provided a stimulating mental workout. Alas, this puzzle has fallen short, requiring my constructive criticism. It's shit.
Now I must survive unreasonable downvotes from chess players who, while skilled, perhaps would only manage to stalemate me back when I was 12 and avoid overly censorious moderators. Good day to you. And, of course, happy holidays.
Who formats this picture like this and thinks, yeah, that's good? That's what I'm saying. Why has it got a crazy opacity on it? It's horrible. Why are AP courses so easy for me? Is it just me, or is AP easy? Basically the title. Last year I took my first AP class as a sophomore AP Euro. It was ridiculously easy. I never did the readings required, apart from spending 10 minutes the night before going over the material needed for an in-class essay. I ended up passing the exam. This year I'm in Bio, APUSH, Lang, and Comp Sci. None of these classes are difficult in any way. I spend maybe an hour a week on homework and studying. Is it just the way my school's way of teaching is structured? Or are these classes indeed just easy? Notice they said passed and not earned highest score. Maybe they're not as smart as they say. Query user writes 1,000 word rambling monologue about why people with 140 IQ are superior to people with 135 IQ. Here's the funniest section of it. My own experience is that I have a lot of extra information coming at me in comparison to peers and coworkers, both internally and externally. When someone says something, my brain acts like a search engine and dredges up everything I've ever read or heard on the topic. I have music playing in my head with 21 instruments and I can hear each one. I see lines, shapes, and shadows when looking at the world and and can recreate them from memory in many formats, digitally, traditionally, verbally, etc. After a full day of working at this pace, sound and vision can be painful and I have to turn off the word part of my brain or it might rupture and come out of my nose and ears. Sound and vision hurt. I am the employee that employers want kept in a flow state 24/7. So I can access and use all of that stored info productively. A lot of the new school policies on think groups in business are to try to get the 135ers to function in the same way, to unlock their potential productivity. I tend to think that you can't make that car run like that if it wasn't built to run like that. My talent is a good memory and the ability to process information faster than others. I was tested multiple times throughout school because I was failing to perform at the standards that the magic number said I should, so they kept thinking there must be some mistake. I am like an odd beetle on a pin. Can someone agree with me, please? Please tell me I'm smart. New copy pasta? Uh-oh. All right, if this is a copy pasta, I want everyone in the comments to write it down. I would like to say that I empathize with and understand your frustrations. However, you've clearly demonstrated that you have too little brain matter to fully understand the culture of the Reddit community, and I find it impossible to empathize with smooth brains. Adding on to that, you are also misrepresenting the Reddit community. I would suggest that you re-educate yourself on this topic. However, you seem to lack the fundamental elementary principles to even educate yourself about the basics of the Reddit community. I don't this fucking guy. I don't think it would be too much of a logical stretch to assume that you have a sub 100 IQ based on what you've said so far. Boo. Boo. That is massive copy pasta potential though. I would doubt my memory too if I was this person, not gonna lie. It's very hard for people to doubt their own vivid memory. I have took the following approach to my own memory when I was about 19 years old and once again foolishly followed my hopes of developing a pedagogy. I don't know what that is. What is this word? Okay, so he wanted to develop a method of teaching that doesn't waste as much time from the children as the current one. In this ever-changing world, memories are overrated. You might remember how your demolished childhood home was, but it's useless in a map for the present. You might remember your school friends that you're no longer in touch with, but they're probably different now. Embracing this relinquishing of memory improved my life because I began to realize that some problems arise because people can't understand that the world has changed and get stuck in their memories, while I'm always continuously scanning reality again and again to find current facts. Because I love the facts, so I'm that smart. Hot and brilliant, a combo. I may look a certain way, but my mom was a former PhD professor. My family full of doctors and teachers and philanthropists. I'm educated and articulate. Don't let the body fool you. I'll write a 40-page dissertation and cite every source. MLA, APA, or Turabian. I went to college at 15, yelling emoji. This sexy shit an act, y'all. In response to someone criticizing an AI-generated image in a chess article, I don't think the point was to to have an exact number of rows between the material. The wobbling bicycle was. I prefer a point made, evocated, explicited, than an obscured wall of exact truth I can't see. The reasoning or purpose towards something else. See, I even went from a punchline here to an unreadable, more nuanced statement via editing myself in self-criticism for non-exactitude with respect to my average thinking. God, these people are so wordy. They like to use a lot of word. The high character count means I'm smart, right? No. Intelligence is being able to communicate your point and not have to use as many words. That's what I think. Original statement was, I prefer a point made to a truth I can't see. Now, compare the two. Yet, I think the improvement formula is a bit abrupt, but I guess these are concerns I do not share or understand about what those blogs are doing on the front page of Lycus. Best is to be, chirurgical? Find the relevant and be generous to let the less relevant pass, if not obstructing the view too much. So, thanks for bringing that point of not expecting chess learning as just a robotic application of some external prefabricated complete knowledge that is required before doing anything or thinking anything. It is an element to consider in finally thinking about theories of learning in chess, whether coming from a titled author or not. It can be chewed without having oneself as a title, as long as not arguing by title implicitly or not. Oh, poor you high IQ person. Will low or average IQ people ever realize that a high IQ is not a fun thing to have? Ooh, heavy is the brain on the thinker. This guy is putting himself forward as president of Iceland. Book overview. In a world where the unseen dictates the scene, the compelling narrative delves into the depths of social engineering and its occult underpinnings. Drawing from ancient manuscripts shrouded in mystery, it reveals a tapestry of hidden influences that have shaped history and continue to mold our present and future. The book meticulously unravels the complex interplay of mythological grandeur and futuristic technology, offering an unprecedented exploration of the power structures that govern societies from the shadows. It's a journey that takes the reader through the corridors of secret societies, unearthing their strategies of control and influence that transcend time and borders. Through a blend of mythical storytelling and factual analysis, the author skillfully navigates the murky waters of political manipulation, demonstrating how public perception is crafted and swayed by a few. With each chapter, the veil is lifted a little higher, exposing the intricate web of deceit and power play that lies beneath the surface of societal norms and conventions. This book is not just a recount of historical events, it's a revelation of the continuous struggle for power played out through the ages. It deciphers the enigmatic language of the ruling elites, unveiling their cryptic symbols and rituals. The narrative is woven with a sense of urgency and insight, urging the reader to look beyond the obvious and question the narratives fed by mainstream channels. I'm so lost. How is this president of, why is this related to the president of Iceland? Is that like an analogy? I don't get it. Self-proclaimed non-normie. Being an introverted thinking dominant type is seriously one of the most painful things ever. I really can't stand other people. I honestly am flabbergasted at the irrationality and stupidity of normies that I witness every day. Now, being an ISTP, I am able to adapt well in the normie world and even come across as one of them. I'm in shape, dress well, I have an education, a job, decent social skills, and don't take things too seriously in situations with people to come across as more likable. I believe I am a healthy ISTP with mastery on my FE, etc. All things that normies say are good for you, even though they don't understand why. However, I cannot wrap my head around the lack of critical thought people put into the decisions they make, why they think the way they do, why they have the opinions they have. It drives me crazy when from my perspective, I'm the only one who's put any level of thought into anything. Shut up, dude. Sorry, I'm getting a little annoyed. Proof by intuition. My intuition is always right because you're taking Intuitain. Otherwise, it wouldn't be intuition. QED. Seems pretty obvious to me. I was finding Taylor series for functions before I even took the proper calculus course. It's just a simple logical deduction. I hate that people always say, this isn't intuitive at all. Yes, it is. Literally always intuitive and obvious. I love when a professor tries to make a point how unintuitive something is and how non-obvious it is by asking the class to answer, expecting totally wrong answers. Then I answer and ruin his fun by getting it right immediately, despite me never having seen this prior. Usually I just stay quiet though and never say a word in class, whilst getting 98% plus in all exams. I know, I am inferior, as I should be getting 100% on everything, but I fail at this and thus fail myself. Damn, it's like whipping himself, dude. In the entirety of my double major in mathematics and physics, I didn't run into a single thing that was unintuitive. My intuition is always right.
If that wasn't the case, then it wouldn't be intuition. This is a non-rigorous proof that most mathematics don't understand what intuition is.
I think, and someone replied, Fourier transforms and Fourier series are not more advanced. It is literally just calculus 1 material. I went to college thinking I would be around smart people. Turns out I was the only one that self-taught myself calculus before taking the course, and everyone else was an absolute oaf that struggled. Oh, it's the same guy. He replied to his own thing. I was literally coming up with Taylor series on my own in Calc 1, and it is utterly obvious and 100% intuitive. So I'm sick and tired of people saying this super obvious stuff is not intuitive. I also came up with Fourier series as it is also utterly obvious. In fact, you can literally create any function with any arbitrary functions, provided you can choose the coefficients of those arbitrary functions and have an infinite amount of them. Dude, these people ever get tired of smelling their own farts? Not paying attention in class, but spend nights and weekends trying to disprove Einstein relativity theories. Very smart. What are the best study methods? At high school, I routinely scored over 95% in most subjects. At a highly competitive private school, I was at the top of my class for every subject I took at one time or another. Often, most of my subjects, most of the time. All the while, barely paying attention in class, not doing my homework. I had a lot of piano practice to do. I was aiming to be a professional pianist. So, ain't nobody got time for that. Am I right? What I did do, though, was spend hours every night, weekend, and often during class, trying to prove everything I was taught wrong. When we were taught relativity, for example, I spent literally hundreds of hours tearing apart the equations to find out where Einstein got it wrong, or trying to devise alternate explanations. Or when we were doing electricity and magnetism, I spent hours designing an Earth-size electrical generator. You made it the size of the Earth? Figuring out how much copper would be required to generate enough electricity for the whole world. How fast do we need to rotate? Okay, boy genius. I write short novels based on fantasy worlds where I described in great details the ecosystems and drew animals and described their biology and evolution. I invented a new model for light, neither wave nor particle. When we were learning about that, I invented a new language and alphabet, was a massive Tolkien fan, etc., etc. So basically, yeah, I'm f***ing awesome and you suck. So that's basically the vibe I get from these guys. They're like, yeah, I'm pretty awesome, I'm sick, and you're not. I found the final boss, a guy who once randomly friend requested me on Facebook. Oh my god. Oh boy, we're in for a tongue lashing here. The application at the engineering firm has been rejected. It was nay due to lacking the prerequisite qualifications, if you can call them that, as I almost border on being overqualified to these fragments. They're merely fortunate enough that they've been endowed with a buyer's market by the current labor market conditions, which are, let's say, less than desired at the moment. Under better circumstances, I wouldn't even know these pitiful excuses of engineers even existed. But heed this. That is kind of a baller way to say, but hear this. The rejection, the awfully misguided rejection, had nothing to do with competency. It was rather, more regrettably if I might add, attributed to credibility issues with my claim of possessing aptitude of quasi-omniscience? Now, if I only had a penny, I have to take liberties when the occasion calls for describing my faculties. And it's not only the faculties themselves, mind you. In addition to said faculties, they are compounding complexities of hermeneutic frameworks. These are cognitive systems which interpenetrate a multitude of ontological realms. Bro, oh my god. Which all breathe life into the very... I'm not even going to try to pronounce that word. That is my dear AQO. One is, of course, meat space. Meat space? Probably mean metaspace. The other, well, that assumes a lot of prior knowledge of the metaphysics. Hint, Plato's analogy of the sun is a good endpoint, but begin with the cave. So, what is to be expected, dear reader? How do I characterize these interlacing labyrinths of intellectual hardware and software to the intellectually average? Well, you don't. I might as well be stuttering a defunct indigenous language of the Brazilian rainforest, Google translated to Klingon after a stroke. Thus, for the sake of succinctness, but more importantly and quite frankly or selflessly, never said I don't care about people, being fathomable to the common man, it's not in my interest to perplex. Never was. I have to resort to similes, which populate the pool of fodder for the two greater analogies, and from there the allegory is conceived. There's nothing more beautiful. Now you might ask, what could this possibly be? It's a library. No, the library. While these underlying mechanisms of intricate conjugating processes work, on the magic behind the scenes, a library materializes in front of my eyes, and it might
might as well be as vivid as my keyboard is at this very moment. Just like how Jesus, no! Just like how Jesus imbued his teachings through parables, I go to a library to acquire knowledge no mortal could possibly know. An adequate comparison, if I say so myself. You just compared yourself to the big dog upstairs? Come on, man. Let's put him in the cave for 3 days. I crave randomness in a world full of predictable humans. You'd be surprised when you'll have a job for him or get him to revile his methods. So loopholes can be patched. People on the spectrum like myself are highly intelligent in a variety of different ways. I can remember anything that interested me or was of note from 30 years ago as a young child in vivid details that I can recite back to anyone. I never used my photographic memory to study maths and English, as that doesn't stimulate me at all. People's behaviors, mannerisms, and therefore a lack of understanding of basic things interests me, and I can and have used things against people to get my own way in a lot of different situations. I've even told people that I can manipulate any given situation to my advantage, but I'll be honest, it gets kind of boring getting your own way all the time. I crave randomness in a world full of predictable humans. I can tell you what someone will do or say before they even do it. From a simple 2-minute conversation. I try to let people prove me wrong, but that rarely happens at all, as most people will revert back to type, as it's their safety blanket and it's all they'll ever know. Is this a copy pasta? No, I really believe this. I own this.